Take a look at this plant. Drooping, crispy, pale, looking like it's already given up. If any of your plants look anywhere close to this right now, I need you to do one thing for me. Don't throw it away yet, because what I'm about to show you has brought back plants that looked completely, totally gone. And I know that sounds like a big promise, but stick with me for a few minutes and you'll see real proof. Here's the best part. The thing that works this magic? You probably already have it sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. So before that sad-looking pot ends up in the trash, watch what happens when we try this on a plant that looks like it's already said goodbye. Before we get into it, if you've ever felt like your plants just don't love you back the way you love them, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week here at Home Garden Fix, we share real, tested gardening hacks that actually work. No expensive gadgets. No confusing jargon. Just practical solutions for real people. And tap that bell icon so you don't miss when new videos drop. Alright, let's get into it. This one is absolutely worth your time. Why plants actually die, and it's not what you think. Let's be honest with each other for a moment. Every single plant parent has had at least one heartbreak. You bring home a beautiful new plant, full of life, full of promise. And within weeks, it's limp, brown, or worse, completely gone. You water it religiously. You move it to that sunny spot you read about. Heck, maybe you even talk to it. And nothing helps. I've been right there with you. My poor fiddle leaf fig once looked like it had survived both a flood and a drought in the very same week. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Most plants don't die because we don't care. They die because we're trying too hard or we're trying the wrong way. Let's break down what's actually going wrong. First, overwatering. This is the #1 silent killer. Too much water drowns the roots, cutting off their oxygen supply and causing them to rot from the inside out. You'll see soft, black roots and that unmistakable sour smell when this happens. Second, underwatering. When soil stays dry for too long, plant cells start collapsing. The leaves wrinkle or turn crispy, and the roots stop pulling in nutrients altogether. Third, poor drainage. If your pot doesn't have drainage holes, all that trapped moisture turns the bottom into a swamp. Roots suffocate and fungus moves in fast. Fourth, too much sunlight. Yes, plants love sun, but direct harsh light can actually burn their leaves, leaving dry patches and faded color. And finally, not enough light. Without proper exposure, plants can't photosynthesize correctly. You'll notice slow growth, pale leaves, or that desperate stretching toward the nearest window. Understanding why your plant is struggling is the first step to saving it. And once you can recognize these warning signs, you're already halfway to becoming the kind of plant parent who rarely loses one. The discovery that changed everything. Now, here's where things start to get exciting. After losing more plants than I'd like to admit, I finally stumbled onto something so simple it honestly felt like a joke at first. No store-bought products. Just one common household item that revived nearly every plant I tried it on. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, step by step. But please, don't skip ahead. The trick only works if you prepare your plant properly first. In fact, that prep step is the exact reason most people fail when trying to revive a dying plant. Get this part right, and you'll see new green shoots in just days. So let's start with what to look for before you use the trick. Reading your plant's distress signals. Before you can bring a plant back to life, you need to understand what's actually killing it. Every dying plant is trying to tell you something. We just have to learn how to listen. Here's how to spot the real cause before doing anything else. Start with the roots. They're the heart of your plant. Gently slide the plant out of its pot and take a good look underneath. If the roots are firm, pale, and a bit springy, you're in decent shape. But if they're soft, dark brown, or almost black, that's root rot. It happens when there's too much water and not enough air. The roots start to suffocate and decay, and the plant can't drink or breathe properly anymore. You might even notice a sour smell. That's bacteria and fungus at work. Now, check the soil itself. Touch it with your fingers. If it feels bone dry, crumbles easily, and even pulls away from the edges of the pot, your plant is severely dehydrated. This means the soil has gone hydrophobic. It's actually repelling water instead of absorbing it. When you pour water in, it just runs straight off instead of soaking down to the roots. In that case, your plant is starving for moisture, no matter how often you're watering it. Next, take a close look at the leaves. Drooping, curling, or limp leaves usually mean the plant is under stress or gasping for oxygen. Could be compacted soil or poor drainage. If leaves are turning yellow from the bottom up, that's often a sign of overwatering. If they're crispy or brown at the edges, you're looking at too much sun or not enough humidity. Also inspect the stems. Are they soft and mushy or dry and brittle? Soft stems usually point to rot creeping upward. Dry, woody stems tell you the plant is shutting down to survive. As you go through these checks, don't rush. The clues are all there. The color of the soil, the smell, the feel of the roots, the position of the leaves. Once you identify the real cause, you'll know exactly what kind of rescue your plant needs. And hey, I'd genuinely love to know, what plant are you trying to save right now? Drop it in the comments below. I might feature your plant in a future video and walk through its recovery step by step. Your story could help another gardener bring their green friend back to life. The trick, a bathroom cabinet hero. Alright, here's the moment we've been building up to. The trick that can bring almost any dying plant back to life. And no, it's not some store-bought miracle formula. It's something so simple, you probably already have it sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. Hydrogen peroxide. I know, hydrogen peroxide might sound like a strange thing to use on plants, but it's actually one of the most powerful, yet gentle, treatments you can give them. It's just water with an extra oxygen molecule. And that extra oxygen is exactly where the magic happens. When roots start to rot or suffocate, hydrogen peroxide gives them the oxygen boost they desperately need to recover, while simultaneously killing harmful bacteria and fungi that cause decay. Think of it as a breath of fresh air for your plant's roots. The step-by-step rescue protocol. Here's exactly how to do it, step by step. Step 1. Mix your solution. In a bowl or watering can, combine 1 part of 3% hydrogen peroxide with 4 parts water. That's your healing mixture. It's important not to make it stronger than that. A mild solution works best. Too much peroxide can damage tender roots, so stick to this ratio. Step 2. Gently remove the plant from its pot. Hold the base of the stem and ease it out carefully. You'll probably see clumps of wet soil clinging to the roots. Shake off as much as you can. If the soil smells sour or swampy, that's a clear sign of rot. Step 3. Trim away the damaged roots. Take a clean pair of scissors or pruning shears and cut off any roots that are soft, black, or slimy. Healthy roots should be pale, firm, and flexible. Don't be afraid to trim. Removing the bad parts actually helps the plant focus its energy on growing new, healthy ones. Step 4. Time for the soak. Place the roots directly into your hydrogen peroxide solution. You'll notice bubbles forming almost immediately. That's the peroxide breaking down and releasing oxygen. And that's exactly what you want to see. Those bubbles mean it's cleaning away bacteria and reoxygenating the root system. Leave the roots to soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. This gives the peroxide enough time to disinfect and refresh the entire root zone. While that's happening, prepare some fresh, well-draining soil. This step matters a lot. If you put the plant back into the same heavy or infected soil, it'll fall sick again. Mix in some perlite or coarse sand to improve airflow, and make sure your pot has proper drainage holes. Remember, good soil and drainage prevent future root rot. Step 5. Replant and rest. Once the soak is done, gently rinse the roots with clean water and replant your revived friend into the new soil. Pack the soil lightly. You want it firm enough to hold the plant upright, but not compacted. Then, and this part is key, don't water for the next 24 hours. Let the roots rest and breathe. They've just been through a lot, and a little recovery time will help them adjust to their new home. In the next few days, you'll start noticing subtle signs of recovery. The leaves will begin to perk up. The stems will regain firmness. The color will slowly return. It's one of the most rewarding sights for any plant lover. Hit that like button right now if you're excited to try this on your own dying plant. The aftercare that makes or breaks recovery. Now, here's something important. This trick works wonders, but only if you follow the next steps carefully. There's a simple aftercare routine that determines whether your plant fully recovers or slips back into stress. So don't skip ahead. What I'm about to show you is the part that makes this method work every single time. Now that you've treated the roots and given your plant a clean start, it's time to focus on recovery. This next stage is where the real transformation happens. And it's also where many people lose patience. But if you follow these aftercare steps carefully, you'll give your plant the best chance to come back stronger than ever. First, find a bright spot with indirect sunlight. Your plant needs light to photosynthesize and rebuild its strength. But direct sun right now can scorch its tender new growth. A spot near a bright window with filtered light is perfect. It mimics gentle morning sun without overwhelming the plant. Next, focus on humidity and gentle moisture. Use a spray bottle to lightly mist the leaves once every day or two. This helps the plant rehydrate slowly and maintain a healthy moisture balance. Don't drench it, just a fine mist to keep the environment comfortable. For the first couple of weeks, avoid using any fertilizers. Your plant's roots are still healing, and concentrated nutrients can actually burn them. Let the plant settle and rebuild naturally before you feed it again. You might not see much change in the first few days. And don't worry, that's completely normal. Recovery takes time. The plant is busy below the surface, repairing its root system and stabilizing. By the end of the first week, you'll start seeing signs of life. Firmer leaves, brighter color, and sometimes tiny new shoots pushing through. Watching that progress is incredibly satisfying. It's proof that the rescue worked and your patience paid off. Bonus boost: banana peels and rice water. Alright, if you want to take your plant's recovery to the next level, here's a little extra that some gardeners absolutely swear by, while others say it's unnecessary. I'll let you decide which camp you're in once you try it. This is the banana peel or rice water method. Both are gentle, natural fertilizers that give your recovering plant a small nutrient boost, the kind it can handle during its healing phase. Let's start with banana peel water. Bananas are rich in potassium and phosphorus, two nutrients that help plants grow stronger roots and new leaves. To make it, just cut up a banana peel and soak it in a jar of water overnight. In the morning, strain the liquid and dilute it with plain water. 1 part banana peel water to 2 parts clean water. Then use it to water your plant once a week. It's mild, safe, and helps replenish what the soil may have lost. Rice water works in a similar way. When you rinse uncooked rice, the water turns cloudy. That's starch, and it contains trace minerals that promote root development. Save that water, dilute it 1 to 2, just like the banana peel water, and use it sparingly. A small amount goes a long way. Here's the thing. Some gardeners love these methods because they're natural and sustainable. Others avoid them because if you overdo it or leave the mixture sitting too long, it can ferment and smell bad. My advice: try it once. Observe your plant's response and adjust from there. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used natural fertilizers like banana peel or rice water? Did they work for you? Or do you have your own secret revival formula? Drop your experience in the comments. I read every single one. And who knows, your tip might make it into our next experiment. The transformation, 7 days later. Now, let's take a moment to see what all that care and patience can do. Here's the very same plant, just 7 days after the hydrogen peroxide treatment and recovery routine. Look at this. The leaves are firm again. That dull yellow tone has faded, and new green shoots are pushing through. The stems are standing upright. The roots have filled out nicely, and the soil even smells clean and fresh. This is the part every gardener loves. The moment when a plant you thought was gone suddenly starts thriving again. It's more than just growth. It's proof that a little knowledge and consistency go a long way. If you look closely, you'll notice something else. The new leaves often grow brighter and thicker than before. That's because the plant is no longer struggling to survive. It's actually using its energy to grow. The bubbling peroxide soak, the gentle light, and the humidity balance all come together here. Watching this transformation never gets old. It's calming, rewarding, and it reminds you why you started gardening in the first place. So if this video helped you or gave your plant a second chance, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps more plant lovers find this video and maybe save their own green friends too. And if you've already seen signs of recovery, share before and after in the comments. I'd love to see how your plant is doing. Troubleshooting when things don't go as planned. Now, sometimes your plant might still look a little sad after trying all of this. And that's okay. It doesn't mean the trick didn't work. It usually means your plant needs a bit more time or a small adjustment. Let's go through a few quick troubleshooting tips to help you figure it out. If your plant is still wilting, even though the soil feels moist, that's a sign of overwatering. Ease back and let the top layer of soil dry out completely before the next watering. If you notice brown or crispy leaf tips, that's usually from low humidity or too much direct sunlight. Try misting the leaves more often, or move the plant to a slightly shadier spot. And if you're seeing no new growth at all after a few weeks, the issue is likely nutrients. Once your plant has recovered for about 2 weeks, you can start using a gentle liquid fertilizer at half strength to give it the boost it needs. The key is patience and observation. Plants don't always bounce back overnight, but when you pay attention to these small signs, you'll know exactly what they're asking for. So before you give up, re-watch this guide. Follow each step again, and keep faith in the process. You've already done the hardest part. You care enough to try. And just in case you ever face another plant emergency, save this video. That way, you can come back anytime your favorite plant starts looking a little tired. You did this. You just seen what's possible when you give a struggling plant a second chance. Every wilted leaf, every weak stem can come back with the right care and patience. Gardening isn't about perfection. It's about connection. These plants depend on you. And in a quiet way, they teach you to slow down, observe, and nurture. So don't give up on that dying plant sitting by your window. Try this simple trick. Give it a week, and watch how life begins to return. If this video helped you today, subscribe to Home Garden Fix and join our growing community of plant lovers. We share simple, genuine tips that make gardening easier and more rewarding. Thank you for watching, for caring, and for keeping a little more green in the world. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, keep growing.